Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending the ECOTech system webinar. Before we get started, I would just like to ask that everyone keep their cameras off and stay muted until the end of the presentation. We will be giving you the opportunity to ask questions from our experts at the end of the webinar. We will be recording this webinar and uploading the content to our YouTube channel and sending out a copy for your convenience to be able to share to those that were unable to attend today. I would like to now introduce to you NILEX's own Director of Technical Services, Slade Van Ruin. Slade's been with NILEX for the past 2 years, and with the expertise of our NILEX MSc team, they have created and are very excited to introduce to you the ECOTech system. Take it away, Slade.
Thank you, Tammy. Thanks very much. So I'd like to thank you all for joining NILEX's ECOTech webinar today. Joining me will be Nicole Soka. She's our technical expert and has been with NILEX for 10 years on the MSc team. Her specialty is design, estimating, and projects. So if you do have questions after the presentation today, please can you refer to or use our email msc.projects@nilex.com, or you can either contact myself, Nicole, as well as any technical sales representative in your area. So ECOTech, this is the NILEX MSc solution. And NILEX continues to bring you mechanically stabilized earth solutions using our tried and true products from the reliable manufacturers that we have been using for over 40 years. So we decided to rebrand and make sure that we could infuse a combination of products so that we can offer to you the best solution with the broadest range of products, so we can basically set up specific solutions for your specific requirements. As I said, we have more than 40 years in this business, and we range anywhere from the mechanically MSc walls that we're talking about today, through road construction, dealing with water issues, and essentially, we've covered a whole lot of ecologically friendly applications. We will integrate all aspects of wall and slope solutions, and there is nothing. What is new in our offering is that we do have additional products that we can put into the mix. First thing is to make sure everyone understands what is mechanically stabilized earth. So we use MSc to establish a stabilization of the earth mass. In this depiction, we have it in green, to enable an elevation or a grade height differential. So we have a vehicle parked up here. In a residential application, this may be the opportunity to reclaim a slope on one side of your facility and to retain that slope by creating an MSc wall. And the components of an MSc wall is the soil, the reinforcement, which is the grid, and the facing. The reinforcement on the grid is essentially what provides the structural strength to this earth mass. And we use two types of grid. The top grid that you can see there is high density polyethylene, and then we also have polyester grid. So what I'm going to discuss following this is the different ECOTech products, which essentially are determined by your application, which is a combination of whether what you want the wall to look like, as well as what is the angle of batter. So here are our 6 offerings that we have right now. The Eco Slope, which is a 35-degree slope reinforced turf system. Eco Wrap gives you a 45-degree, and we use a wrap to pick up the face. I will be showing some photos of these different systems as we go down. As I go down here, we're getting steeper and steeper walls. Eco Green can provide up to a 70-degree batter face, and it is also green. So the first 3 options that I've given you here will become a vegetated solution. The vegetation blends in. You get to select through your biologist and agronomist, and all the experts will provide you with what facing you want to match the area of your construction. Then we go on to EcoRock, which EcoRock wall is a galvanized wire basket with a rock face. And all of the systems so far, we have as a 70-year design life. And the next one is EcoTemp, and this is typically a 4 or 5 year design life, because with the EcoTemp, we can go to 90 degrees. But with the EcoTemp, we don't have a wire cage, we just have wrap. And so there will be slumping over time, although we've had customers require a 3-year design life, and those temporary walls and support systems have been continued to be used beyond that time. An EcoCell is, it uses a cellular construction, and it can go up to 70 degrees on the face angle. Let's have a look at a summary of that. So in summary, EcoSlope, 35 degrees, common in swales, ditches, sides of roads. EcoWrap, when you have a tighter slope, potentially coming down to a lake, or if you just want to, you don't want to go to the extent of including the wire cages. EcoGreen and EcoRock at 70 degrees and 90 degrees is your vegetated and your rock faces, longer life and often much taller, much higher walls. And then the EcoTemp for your temporary solution at 90 degrees, and EcoCell. There's certain applications where EcoCell really does come into play. So when you go to the Nilex webpage, on the Nilex webpage, we have the main 5 areas of roads, MSE walls, erosion control, water management, and containment. We also have dedicated pipeline and mining supply opportunities that we'll provide. But in the drop down on the MSE wall, you can see the applications. The applications are essentially retaining walls, opportunities for approach walls, bridge abutments, and then the whole group of vegetated, reinforced, steepened slopes, which is you'll see RSS as well as MSE as 2 of the acronyms or titles that we get to these, and then temporary walls. If you're on our page and you're looking for specific products, then the bottom on that drop down is our MSc products and literature, and then you can look at the individual products. What we tend to do is take the individual products, we assemble them as a system, we do the design, and depending on your need, we would then provide you let's call it a composite design. Each of these tabs, each of these in the drop down, I'm just going to do a quick reference point to. So retaining walls. Nilex can provide a hard surface, a green surface, a wire face retaining wall. Applications range for all construction applications, residential, commercial, industrial building sites, and as we said, mines and heavy industrial as well. All of the solutions have one thing in common. They are being used for grade separation, some way to salvage or improve the use of your land and avoid unnecessary erosion. The products we provide have long-term durability, structural integrity, and UV stabilization in certain products for those applications. Installation, we typically give some guidance, and we find that our construction people will find it very easy to follow our construction directions, and it makes for efficient installation. And depending on your client, you can offer a wide range of aesthetic options. So approach walls, I've chosen an EcoRock approach wall here. This happens to be an approach wall on a road, on a new construction where the interaction is between a road and a rail, an LRT and a rail. You can see we've got the hard surface wall with a wire face, and in this case we could choose between a HDPE or a polyester geogrid. The two brands using here would be EcoRock and EcoGreen. It is the EcoRock that's in the photograph. We also have bridge abutments. Now, bridge abutments have a special challenge in that some of the issues here would be the presence of traffic. Settlement is an issue because the abutment, it does provide a certain support, have a certain support strength for the overhead bridge there. And then we have to deal with the issue of road salts. Our retaining wall systems have been proven to be effective, often eliminating the need for pilings. Vegetated slopes, as you can see, we're introducing EcoWrap, EcoSlope, EcoCell, and EcoGreen. And with that range of products, we can essentially offer any slope basically from 0 degrees up to 90 degrees. It obviously provides you a good balance between the use of your valuable land and there's a tremendous cost saving in using these solutions, as well as the obvious aesthetic outcomes that the clients really do appreciate. I'm going to go through some photographs now. Now on the EcoSlope, this is the less than 35-degree angle. You can see the turf reinforcement mats or erosion control blankets on the photo on the left, and then you can see after a period of time, once the vegetation has taken root, and this is a very typical application side of a road. The next two is EcoWrap, where you're starting to see the 45-degree angle 1-to-1. And what you'll notice now is you can see the green wrap, which provides the supports and stability. Still at the interface of each wrap, you will have the grid going back in to provide the stability for the earth. But what we do here is we provide a growth medium right up against the face of this green wrap. And on the right, you can see that after a period of time, it vegetates and you have that natural looking green slope. EcoGreen, because you're now going up to 70 degrees. On the left, you can see the ungalvanized wire face, and you can see that it has a green wrap behind it, which enables you to put a growth medium there. And on the right, we can see a very nice example of once that face is vegetated. Depending on how you want to do it, you can also allow a certain amount of dirt fall down once you've established this, and it can appear like an extremely attractive steep slope green wall. EcoRock is the product where we use a galvanized wire face, and then we place a rock in the front 30 to 60 centimeters, in the front foot to 2 feet of rock. And what is really interesting is you can see from these two exactly that you can go pretty high. You can create a very robust support structure. On the right, we have this ramp, which is going to become a loading ramp for heavy equipment on a mine. And of course, typically in BC, Northern Ontario, and certain areas where we see the land use, where land properties are very high, and people are buying high slope properties. This is a good way to not so much reclaim, but make the best use of your land. You run this EcoRock wall on your property line, and you get the best out of your land usage. This photo is really nice because it's on a golf course, and of course it looks ideal to have your property here. We also have a product for the EcoRock. There is sleevers, which are during construction. They support those poles for the fence. Obviously, in most operations installations, you're going to need to put a fence up to meet the code. EcoCell. This is one of the green options. The green cell is an expanded geocell which is expanded back into the dirt for a few meters, and then we use the dirt as a support mechanism, and it holds it in place. And then you can see the two vegetate. You can see what kind of vegetation you can establish over time. And often in these situations, you can get some pretty attractive plant varieties as opposed to just grass. This is a nice shot of a variety of eco green walls with the road or rail use these very well, and they're a great application for that. Lastly, temporary walls. Temporary walls do get vegetated in time if they're less than 90 degrees. But if you do a temporary wall up to 70 degrees, it can get vegetated. But in construction sites where we want to have a temporary access, I was just going down past the Trans Mountain this week, and there's a lot of places where they have to have vehicles crossing rivers, and they have to have a lot of temporary structures. The ECOTech reinforced walls, there's a high utilization of that kind of a wall there. So I'm getting to the point of conclusion here. And so ECOTech is Nylex's mechanically stabilized earth solution. We feature products from all of the suppliers. More than 90% of our supply is North American. And this is all brought to you by Tensar, Strata, Industrial Fabrics, Envirolock, Geo Products, ECB Verdal, EarthTech Solutions, Propex, and we also have some Nylex branded products. And we bring these together in a solution to meet your requirements by Nylex. So you can get all your questions answered by sending an email to msc.projects@nylex.com. But right now, that is the conclusion of our ECOTech presentation. And I will hand it back to Tammy and take your questions.
Great. So if anybody is interested in asking questions to either Slade or Nicole or part of the team, you can either put it in the chat, or if you want, you can unmute yourself and ask directly.
Okay, we can stay on for a couple of minutes if there's any questions. But if there's anything further you'd like, just both myself and Nicole, we are on the msc.projects@nylex.com email train, or just phone us at Nylex and have a word with us. But yeah, we'll stay on for a couple of minutes here to see if there's any questions.